Good stuff. Right, so today just gonna briefly touch up on a few diet tips. Obviously, I've been dieting for quite some time now. For this photo shoot that's coming up, only a week away now from this video, which is perfect, and I've made it enjoyable for myself. I've kind of, the way that I've structured my diet, you know, the things that I've implemented within my diet have led me to a successful diet. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of an insight. Hopefully, you know, if you're someone who's going through a diet phase, you can make it a bit more enjoyable. I feel like when people hear dieting or cutting or whatever, they automatically have like this negative thought that you have to be eating just broccoli, chicken and rice and whatnot, and it's not enjoyable. But that's completely not the case. So yeah, I'm just going to reel off a few of the tips and stuff that I've been using just to make my dieting experience a bit more enjoyable. Right, tip number 1, use high volume food. So stuff like strawberries, raspberries, fire, yogurt, they're great kind of food sources that you can implement within your diet that will keep you fuller for longer. If you've got food that's high in volume, your plate is generally going to be bigger. So mentally you're eating a lot more food as well, and you're physically eating more food at the same time too. Utilize stuff like veg. Veg is very high in minerals and vitamins, and you're making sure that you're hitting your micronutrients as well as your macronutrients within your diet. So utilize veg. If you're not really someone who don't really eat veg, get it in your diet. Get it in there, especially when you're dieting. It's a lot harder, like when you're bulking and whatnot, to eat veg. Although you should be eating veg, all the time. But you definitely want to be utilizing it within a diet phase. So, high volume food is tip number 1. Tip number 2: don't be afraid to salt your food. So, I personally use the ISO low salt because it's high in potassium and low in sodium, but at the same time too, I use the pink Himalayan salt. If you're generally using a lot more salt within your diet, you're more inclined to drink more fluid. If you drink more fluid, you're going to be fuller. And if you're just generally drinking a lot more water throughout the day, that's you need to get at least 3 to 4 liters of water in per day. And anyway, so if you're uptaking more water, you're generally going to be a lot fuller throughout the whole day, and you're just pressing that hunger. So get salt within your diet, and at the same time too, when you're training, you tend to just deplete a lot of sodium. So yeah, don't be afraid to use salt. Get that within your diet. Number 3, make use of condiments. So as you can see, I'm a big fan of the skinny sauces. They are very macro friendly. Frank's Red Hot sauce is very macro friendly as well. Make your food enjoyable. So do be wary of like what kind of sauces that you do go for, because there are some sauces out there, even seasoning, that are very high in calories, maybe high in fats or carbs. So you do need to be conscious, and you do need to have a read through the nutrition within the actual condiment you're going to be using itself. But make use of sauces. Make your food enjoyable. That's another way. If you're enjoying something, you're going to stick to it for a longer period of time. Whereas if you're not enjoying something, you're more inclined to just come off a diet and binge or eat something else. So make your diet enjoyable. You make use of condiments. Get some flavour in there. Tip number 4: make use of sweeteners. So sweeteners I've got in my diet, and I've kept all the way in. I'm still using sweeteners to this day, because they are, I can digest them well. And for me, I've got a very big sweet tooth. So at the end, when it comes to the end of the day, I'm looking for something sweet to eat. So if I can have, some strawberries with stevia on top of it, that's my sweet tooth gone. Gone? My sweet tooth satisfied. Of course, stevia and sweeteners, like the 0-calorie syrup things for my protein, they've got nothing in it. Of course, it's artificial sweetness. So you don't want to over-consume on sweetness, because that could really mess up your digestion. So you have to play around with, whether you're someone who digests sweetness well or not. If it's having an impact on your digestion, then I wouldn't recommend using sweetness. But if you digest it well, then utilize it, right? So that's tip number 4: make use of sweeteners. Tip number 5: generally just be more active. I feel like when you're bored and you're just sitting around, you're not doing much, that's when you're more inclined to just binge out or go and eat, even though you're not hungry or just bored. So for myself, I've always just kept myself active, even if it's going out for a walk or just cracking on with some studying or learning or whatever. Just keep yourself active. At the same time too, if you keep yourself active, you're going out for a walk, you're expending more calories as well at the same time. So it's a win-win situation. Keep yourself active. Don't sit around, because you're more inclined to just binge then. And that's tip number 5. I think that's really like my top tips. Of course, enjoy the process. That is the biggest tip as well. Just enjoy it. Remind yourself what the end goal is. If you do feel like having a bit of a rubbish day and you feel like you want to binge out or whatnot, remind yourself what the goal is. But enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. And I will guarantee at the end of it, you're going to look back and think, it was all worth it. It was worth it. But yeah, look, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, share it with someone who might be helping their diet phase out. I'm literally, like I said, 1 week out of my photo shoot, so I'm looking forward to getting some content up in regards to that. But yeah, the usual: like, share, comment, subscribe, like I said, share this out to people. Yeah, let me know if you find this one useful.